It is time for another episode of the Podcast of Steel. He's back, my original Jimmy Olsen. Kibla is here today to talk about the new Superman movie. Kibla, welcome back, buddy.
Thank you. It's been a while. How have you been, bud?
Well, I've been with you for the last week or so it's been fantastic. And we've been doing all these amazing events that we'll talk about. We had the fan event, we had the zip wire, we had the game. James, I tell you, I can't speak today. I've been so on edge. I'm filled with coffee. I'm filled with excitement. The James Gunn Q&A at HMV. Then there was the James Gunn Q&A at the 30-minute panel. And then we were lucky enough to be at the James Gunn Intimate Q&A with Peter Safran. I've been pinching myself all week, mate, and it's been an absolute honour to be with you and the rest of what we call the DC family here in the UK. We've all been so grateful for the experiences that we've had. Yeah, it's been an interesting week to say the least. But please, if the listeners and watchers don't know who you are by now, it's an absolute outrage. But please introduce Kibla to yourself to them.
I'm Kibla Ahmed. Where do I start? There's so much that I cover at the moment now. So I'm an artist. That's my main thing. I'm an artist. So if you check out Kibla Ahmed Art, you'll see that I'm an artist. I'm a dad. I love my dad journey at the moment now, and I share a lot of stuff about my journey as a dad, but a lot of stuff on mental health as well. That's become like a big thing in the past year. Something personally changed in myself to be able to help other people that are on their journey as a father, but as a creative as well. I do loads of art workshops across the country. But my main thing is my brother started a podcast with me 9 years ago called the Brothers Geekout Podcast, which has opened up different avenues of opportunities, but for us to share our passions with everybody else in the world, which, it's been an amazing journey, dude. Like, I didn't think us, like, talking about comic books and movies and have that much passion for it and, like, having a positiveness to it. I think, having that to it, because I'm not one to judge about other people's work. I just enjoy it. If you could take me away for a couple of hours, like if I read a book and you took me away for a couple of hours, I think we've come to a point now where it's about how did that product make me feel? And that's what we share on the podcast. And yes, There you go. That's the Brothers Geekout Podcast.
It has been a beautiful journey. And that has always been the point of our adventures or our reviews or our discussions. I've said this time and time again. And on my own Superman review, the most important person that you should listen to when it comes to a review is yourself. You're the person that book, art, movie, or play is important to. That's the person, the watcher, the viewer. If you didn't like something, why? If you loved it, why? I want to know why. And that is what I've enjoyed with your podcast and your brother and your art, is that it's your story. It's your journey. It is all about you, which I love, because I've always loved that. From our first experiences going to London many a year ago, where we have always enjoyed talking about our passions, where we first met up many a year ago at a Comic-Con, and over the years we've evolved, as it were, as podcasters and creators. We've enjoyed the journey, and we will always do so. And this last week, what a journey, pal.
Dude,
I explained in my last podcast the fact that yes, we had that 30 minutes, we had a fantastic Q&A, and then James Gunn sort of said, well, the most important people that I'm excited to talk about are the people that's seen the movie. And we all sort of nodded in agreement and was like, yes, that's a good response. And then he said, do you want to watch it? And just like the place just exploded with enthusiasm. And then before we could say, yes, please, the lawyers came in and said, please sign this NDA. Don't say this, don't say that. Said, we're not going to do that. We respect the NDA and obviously the opportunities that have been given. But yes, it was, I've not slept since last week, I don't think. I've been such a daze of Superman excitement that for me, I'm always excited about Superman, but right now it's just been bubbling just below the surface. Each time I wake up and think about something else happens. So yes, we can announce it now that we have seen the movie, Kibla, haven't we?
That's insane. I still pinch myself. You know what? I haven't slept myself properly, and it's not that. And I think I just feel like we're just two kids that are still big kids and still love this character because of how much he means to us. I mean, he's the original OG that started it all off. We have you know what? I've got so much words to say about the movie, but just to say with the experiences with what Warner Brothers have done for us, like I'm still really grateful for summer. Like, dude, we flew last week. We literally flew last week. And it's like, it still hasn't come out of my
loved
head.
your video. Your video was fantastic. Giving the kids a shout out, just screaming like Superman. What I've loved about seeing everybody's videos of flying off that tower on that incredible zip line was just the fact that we were just so happy to talk. I mean, I was shouting. I was shouting off that rooftop. I was scared, kid. I tell you what, mate. I have never done anything like that before in my life.
Yeah.
And I did my zip wire with Paul from DC World and Jeremy from All on the Board. We got to the top. I was just walking very slowly. My feet were just going like an inch at a time. And the guy was saying, stick to the left of the building.
Yes.
I was like stuck to the wall. I was not coming off that. I was literally Beyonce to the left, to the left. I was not going anywhere. And the guy was like, who's going first? I was like, oh, Paul's going first. Paul is. I need to make sure that this is safe. I knew that Paul would be absolutely fine because Paul is an absolute adrenaline junkie.
Yes, he is.
But
yes, he is.
I saw him go down, just having the time of his life, and that did make me a lot less scared. But stepping up there and getting all the gear and thinking about what to say, and just that moment, I was like, well, I'm here now. I almost stopped in the morning and said, no, I can't do that. That's too much. But the regret would have been far more painful than doing it. It wasn't
100%,
painful. It was
100%.
effortless and smooth. But I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this for Superman. So I'm so glad that I did. But your video has been shared. All the footage was fantastic of everybody's zip wire. But yours, the absolute synchronicity. I don't know who you paid to fly a jumbo jet over the top of you so that it was directly underneath and you were lined up with what looked like to be a 747.
Yeah.
Genius.
You know what? That was
move.
perfect timing. And you know what? Shout outs to Jess. She's an organizer that organized this with the Warner Brothers team. And I remember, after doing that alone, and same thing, I do crazy stuff, but not that's crazy. Like zip wiring across Canary Wharf at that height, dude.
Mate.
Before we even I remember saying, I'm not gonna have no breakfast. I'll have a coffee because I need my coffee. And I got in front of there. I've just bought my coffee, and I looked up, and I was like, "Oh my god, is that the zip line?" And literally, I was sweating. I don't think I've sweated like that in my life. Like just pouring
Absolute bullets.
And Tasman was like, "You're right, Kibbs," and I'm like, "I don't know if I want to do this or not."
And it was there. I mean, I saw a lot of people looking very sheepish, and some over the moon to jump off a building. And you know what? Good for you. I am not one of those people. I mean, I would like to do it again, don't get me wrong, but wow.
I think we got the buzz for it, that's why.
I do. I can see why people would want to do that again. I would definitely. I mean, I definitely appreciated the moment. I got a good view of everything around me.
Yes.
We got the GoPro footage, and there's about, I think, 5 minutes. There is the Luke Bug cut of my camera footage of just me looking very, very sheepish.
I can't wait to see that. You got to put that up.
I'm like there trying to be cool, and there were people. I watched it back yesterday, and it was quite surreal. There was somebody sneezing, so I was just continuously saying "bless you" to them because I didn't want to come off across as rude. Yeah. Every single professional person that was part of the Zipwire team was a hero.
Yes,
I was shaking everybody's hand, calling them sir, saying thank you very much. One of them said, "Don't call me sir." I said, "I don't want to upset you because in a minute you're about to gently push me off a rooftop. I want to be your friend."
Exactly.
But they were all such a professional team. The safety crew behind it. Bob.
No,
I love somebody called Bob. I just feel
who
safe
doesn't?
when a Bob is involved.
Exactly.
And they even used a little. They used a Superman action figure to explain how we had to move and how we had to grab the stuff. Definitely a once in a lifetime opportunity, and to do it for Superman in a Superman flight suit. It's
amazing.
It's one of those bucket list moments that. Yeah,
definitely is.
Yeah. We all got great footage of us flying across.
We did.
And again, you gave a shout out to the kids, which was beautiful. You gave a shout out to everybody in your life that's important. Jeremy did the same. I saw Paul give a shout out to his wife and his stepkid. I watched all that footage back and I thought, you have all thrown me directly under the Superman bus. All I talked about was Superman. Didn't say hello to me mum, to the girlfriend, to me boss, to me pet cat.
Oh,
for me, it was all about Superman, so that was it.
No, totally. And the thing is, I don't blame you for that because, when I saw your guys' footage, I was like, oh man, that's a nice plug in there. I think for me, as I was still nervous, and I spoke to Jess after who got the footage, and she was like, I saw you take the first because I thought you were going to let Tasmin go, but Tasmin was like, F you kids, you're going first. And then, so I went and she caught it and I was like, she goes, look at this cool footage I got of you. And she showed me on the roof as I got on the other side as she came up and she was like, Kibs, check this out. And I'm like, who is this person? I don't know who she is. And she showed me the footage and I was like, oh my God, the plane, what? So shout out to Jess. She organised
Jess,
this
you are a hero.
Brothers. She's
many heroes
awesome.
this week.
Yes.
But yeah, that
but the footage is insane, bro. I love everybody's
it's
footage.
a fantastic smooth like pan going from right to left, and as you see Kibs like extended arms going across the sky, this jumbo jet just lines up perfectly. I was like, that is some serious marketing budget. I don't know who they had to bung a few quid to change that flight path, but yeah, it was. But it's memories like that we will look back on now and,
100%.
and enjoy.
100%.
And I get it. We are completely so grateful and fortunate to be in these positions, and we know it's because we are there to help promote the movie.
Yes, of course.
We want this film to do well, so we're going to
100%.
say yes to anything, including jumping off of a very, very tall building. Superman, I wouldn't do that for many other people, but we did, and it was a great memory, and there's some great footage that we will continue to share for upcoming weeks with all the behind-the-scenes footage. But it was a great lead up.
The important part of this, as Superman fans, and for a character like this to be so, it's like he always shows up, whether it's for a fight or not to fight. He always shows up. He will never back down from it. And I did take that part of me to go with it, because one of my videos that came out yesterday, I've been filming like Superman bites for the past month, and yesterday's message was about showing up. And I think that's important for all of us that are suffering anxiety, mental health, some sort of issue where we find it hard to take the next step forward. And Superman has been the character who always steps forward, regardless of the outcome and how he is.
Sir.
He always steps forward and he takes one for the team. So like, I feel like we all did that day. That's why I'm so proud of everybody, because again, it's not something we do every day. And I think it's really important that even with this character, the many like alliterations we've had, comic books, movies, that he's still here, and then we've got him back again on the big screen, and I'm super excited, dude. Super excited.
I mean, we've said this many times before. We would not have this world of entertainment if it wasn't for Action Comics #1 and the way that Jerry and Joe just changed the future of storytelling. And you put that right. I mean, we did this for Superman. And I think in my head, the moment we got into the first tower, and we weren't even at the top floor yet, we were just looking out of a window. I was like, there's still more to go. He's got to go higher up. I thought, I can't do this. And then I put on that Superman flight suit and then put on a cape that we didn't wear for the actual zip wire for obvious health and safety reasons. I thought, okay, I'm doing this for Superman. So in my head, I'm going back and rethinking every single Superman story and TV show and movie quote about how doing the right thing at the right time is important, stepping out of comfort zones, not regretting choices, and making the right choice. It's in the front of me new Superman book. It's there. Your choices, your actions, that's what makes you who you are. The perfect quote to use for a zip wire. But yeah, we all did it, and we got down, tried to remain calm, and then went to the James Gunn Q&A, followed by the screening. Ooh. Boy, the screening, buddy. And it was a joy to be able to watch this sat next to you. I think a few other people took a few steps back to go higher up the rows, but I was like, no, we are here now. We can see the screen. I'm ready to get lost in this story. And I was sat next to you, which was an honor. You had that amazing Superman jacket on that you created. I'll throw up some pictures of that. But how long did that jacket take?
Took a couple of days. We had a really busy weekend as well, but for me, it was like my first. We were at a Superman premiere, and it was like, I have been drawing this character from 3-4 years old. You know, I read his first comic book when I was 11. It was Man of Steel, the 6-part series that John did.
Yes.
So like, it was like really an important piece where it was like, you know what, we're getting a new Superman on the big screen. So it took me about I think it was just over 5 days, because you have to wait for the paint to settle, and it's like mixed media of fabric paint and then different layers, and then I use fabric marker pens, and then I wanted my girls to, because they're so creative as well, I wanted them to have a part in it as well. So like my eldest Alara, she did the S on the chest, And then I gave my youngest, who's 2, Nia, the cape. So she could be a bit messy, but I can neaten it up a little bit. But I had to guide her along the way. But I just wanted a part of them on that as well. So, like,
Good man.
it was
I
a
can
really
like see you
important
there,
piece.
just like if you just paint a little bit, but go on, do your own thing. I'm not going to pressure you, but just be careful.
Yeah.
Don't muck it up. I've worked really hard on this, but it was beautiful to see. Great
thank you.
colours. It's what Superman is. It's bright. It's bold. We
Yes.
need to see him fly across the sky and fly away when we know that we are safe. And that to see that jacket on you and thinking he's always popping, whether it be his fantastic trainers or style. He's done something and he's brought his A game. It was fantastic to see. And it was great to see so many people dressed up in different outfits and just to see
Yes, definitely.
at that fan event, to see Superman represented in such a big way. Not to be in the shadows or a side character, to have him front and center. And James Gunn has done that in a huge way
100%.
with the marketing and the film and everything to go along with it. So we're not going to, well, we can talk a bit at the end about spoilers, of course.
Yes.
But what I want to do with this podcast, I'm trying to talk with as many people around the world as possible that have seen the film. So Kibla, no pressure. Tell me about the film. Tell me what you thought about this film.
You were there with me, dude. I had tears rolling through most of it.
Yeah, there were handkerchiefs and there were tears, there was sniffing, there was thigh grabbing, there was knee slapping.
Do you know what it was? For me, it's a comic. It is a full-on wacky comic book movie. Yeah, it has the charm of the 80s and 90s comic books, but the charm of present times as well. I think he's brought this character into, even though it's in the DC universe, into our worlds in such a special way where we're getting to know more about Clark, Lois, Superman, and their journey. You know, we didn't need to get an origin story, we already know, but very interesting the way he's popped things into there.
Yes.
And I personally, I adore the movie, dude. Like, for me to be crying in the end credit scene, not even end credit scene, just the end credits. Like, I was so emotional because it gave me the feeling of what Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse did for me. Into the Spider-Verse, because I felt like when you have a movie that jumps straight out of the pages of a comic book and you make me feel that way, like, it's not just an honor to Stan Lee, it was just an honor to Joe and Jerry, just to say, this is what I love. This is how I've represented it. And I felt it. Oh my God. Like, I felt that love. Because I felt like Jerry and Joe there. I was like, oh, I'm rolling in my grave right now. That was emotional.
It was the fact that it was such a great Superman story.
Yes.
Many people have said so many times that it's not hard to write a good Superman story, but it's difficult to get all those elements there. And it was there with this. And as you said, for Jerry and Joe, and the fact that James said in the Q&A, look, we gave their relatives the script. They read it, and they said that Jerry and Joe would have loved this film. This is the film they would have waited for. And for me, that's the only review you should really take note of, is the fact that the generations later, they're still rooting for this hero. But yeah,
exactly.
It was from moment to end, as you said. There was laughter, there were tears, there were gasps, there were screams, there was moments of shock and awe. But I think you put it quite rightly, is the fact that it looks like a comic book. It's bright, there's over-the-top explosions and stunts and visual stunts as well. Seeing, I mean, it's kind of a spoiler, but not. It's in one of the TV spots now. Superman gets stamped into the ground by the giant kaiju. And you see Superman crawl his way back out. And you see the pavements ripple. I've seen that in comics and cartoons so many times.
Yeah.
Never seen that in a film. Always wanted to know how the physics behind that would work. And we see it. And then we hear, there's always that beautiful, almost half a second of silence before he re-emerges.
Yes.
And he just explodes out of the ground. I was like, that's Superman
Come on.
right there. And
100%.
I can't wait for more, to experience more studios and audiences, rather, react to that scene, because we were excited from start to finish, as all of us were around us. But beautifully, beautifully told story. So what are your thoughts on David's represented, his version of Superman and Clark Kent, Gibbs?
It's very, you know what? Because I don't think we've had enough screen time as, like, we get Superman. We've always had Superman on the screen, but we don't really get I think Christopher Reeve did really well in his portrayal as Clark Kent. I think he embodied Clark Kent at such a way that he made me believe he was Clark Kent.
Yes.
Like the slouch and everything else, like he put his acting into that. And then, we move on to other characters, but it's that conversation with Lois he had, isn't it? That kind of made he gave you his why. Everybody keeps asking you, why do you do this for? Why do you do this for? Because he wants to save people. He wants to be kind. He wants to be good. It gave Clark more of a reason to why he wants to be Superman. And then, his family add, Mark Kent add to that even more. Because, like, this takes a really big turn in the story because they're using elements from the comic book that most people maybe not even know about because of that original message that was sent. And that last credit scene was like, he's made his choice.
Again, going back, I'm itching to just. There's a massive spoiler that is just
massive
bubbling
spoiler,
on my tongue.
massive spoiler.
But that is that quote is in the. I wrote this. Well, I started filling this book up many, many months ago, filled up with the names and everybody that's in the film, so I don't forget people. But it was that quote that got me. Your choices, your actions, and we get to see that quote on the screen by many different characters. They all make different choices and different actions, and a lot of them have serious consequences.
Yes.
But it was, again, that moment between Lois and Clark and also Superman, that trifecta of people in the same room.
Yes.
I could have watched that interview scene, for hours. The chemistry and tension between the two of them when they were interviewing each other, it was so well done and a great way to introduce the characters to the film and to learn more about what their morals were and what counts to them.
Exactly.
And Superman saying, the fact, people were going to die. I had to help them. I had to get involved. It wasn't about me not doing it. It was the fact of what would happen if I didn't do it. I've got to get in there and do what I do best, which is save people. And we get so much Superman saving in this film, whether it be buildings, cars, kids, aliens, monsters. It's, as you said, it's a comic come to life. It's visual, it's bright. There are lots of locations in this film that we don't see in trailers or TV spots. If you're worried that you've seen too much already before seeing the film, you can throw that out of the window because there is so much dialogue and settings and locations that you don't see. They've really saved the best till last. They've given you a fantastic tease, and with the whole movie...
They did well. He's done well. I've got to say, that was my main worry, because with marketing, as you know, too much can be given away. Mm-hmm. And I stopped watching trailers and teasers and everything else. I stayed away from it, which... It's hard. Which in the preview, they ended up showing that trailer, and I was like, man, I was waiting. Which I don't mind. I mean, we got to see, so much, but I feel like this is a character-driven story. He's still learning to be Superman as well. He's still making those choices. And I think this movie it's the big boy in blue. They portray it. He's still... He is the Boy Scout. And he's still learning. He's still, the conflict between him and Lex in this is so complex, but so good as well. I loved it. And I love Nicholas Hoult and his portrayal of Lex as well. I feel like it's best dynamic duo on the screen, guys. When they have a conversation, it's like, oh my God, this is so good. This is so good. This is what I read in the comics. This is how they interact. This is how it's meant to be.
I love one-on-one relationships with Superman and different people in the comics and the films and TV. Whether it be Superman and Lex or Superman and Lois or Superman and Jimmy, or he's got different layers when he meets different people. And there have been many universes where Superman and Lex were friends before they were villains. Of course, we know of Smallville. It's happened in many comics throughout the years as well. And I love that element of it. But in this, it is just true villainy, a true tyrant that is not only angry about Superman, he's scared, but he's jealous. He's got just such enraged envy that he wants Superman to fail. He's doing everything he can to defeat Superman, to destroy Superman, but in the most diabolical ways. At first, in the trailers and TV spots, I loved Superman. Now, this is a minor spoiler, just the fact that I really quickly just had so much hatred for Lex when he went after Krypto. You don't do that, not the dog. But there's a scene sort of where we know something happens to Krypto and Superman just doesn't care. He goes, literally slams into Lex's office to find out where Krypto is.
Yeah.
And Lex is just cool as a cucumber. Now, when Nicholas isn't around Superman or David, he's motivated. He's angry. He's a very severe and abusive boss to be around.
Yes, that's right.
But whenever Superman sees him, he's calm. He's collected.
That's
Good afternoon, Superman.
Right.
Hello, Superman. And Cal flies in and demands to find out where Krypto is. And his ex is like, I don't know where your dog is. And he brings up this mug and goes, I don't have an ugly little dog. I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, oh, in an instant, I was like, right, that is your pantomime villain moment. I'm 100%. Booing you now whenever I see you. But we do get to understand Lex's motives and why.
Yes, definitely.
Because before Superman turned up, Lex was and still is a genius. He's done great things for medicine. He's done things for technology and for the future of Metropolis. And then Superman's down. He's like, hey, everybody, I'm in a big cape. Look at me. I'm not even trying, but I'm saving the world. Yeah. And Lex has had to go his whole life in supporting his own character, supporting his future, being diabolical. But such a great Lex. Such a brilliant Lex.
Good. James has done well. Like, I've always trusted, since we saw Guardians of the Galaxy and even his other projects, like, he's a good writer. He knows how to level everything out. He knows how to balance everything. Sometimes we feel like there could be too many characters. That's the other worry I had as well. But the way he equally did everything with Guardians of the Galaxy, I mean, even with CGI characters like Rocket Raccoon and Groot, he balanced it out so well that you made me fall in love with actually all of these characters that not many people knew about in the comic books. And I think what he's done as well, because James has always been quite honourable when it comes to the creators, the artists, the writers. He loves comics so much himself that he did that in the movie. Like he balanced them out so really well. I mean, we got Guy Gardner. I mean, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. I can't believe that. Like, we got Guy Gardner on the screen, and then you got Mr. Terrific. You're like, this is insane. And he was so good. Absolutely fantastically cast.
I mean, so again, there was some great moments of comedy and record scratch moments, but he was very charming and cool and collected, but also quite easily agitated. And I loved that, like, sort of attitude and sass that he brought to the role. But that was one of the conversations, though, is that there's so many characters in this film.
Yeah.
The attention's going to come off Superman. It really didn't.
It didn't.
Every character interaction when Superman wasn't on screen was about Superman. Exactly. And Superman gets so much screen time. And the fact that when you're not seeing Superman, something else is happening about Superman.
That's right.
Without a shadow of a doubt, is a Superman movie. And that brought me so much joy. But yes, a lot of characters, but they all brought something special. And over the upcoming weeks, I can't wait to talk more about what they brought to the role, because 100%. I want to see these characters more. We're going to go and see it again. Goodness me. As this recording is live now, this is July the 7th, and we're both going to go off and see this again tomorrow. I'm headed back to London for the media screening and can't wait. And on Friday the 11th, I've been waiting for that day for so long. I've got
the Hero booked as well, so it's another busy week of Superman.
I was like, what's a Hero screening? I was like, I don't care. I've already bought the ticket.
Yeah.
So I'm going in at 10:15, 1:30, and 7:30 on Friday.
Brilliant.
I'm going to my local View Cinema. I've got permission to use a private corner for some podcast recording.
Nice.
And then what I'm really looking forward to, as we start talking about the more visual elements of this film, I'm going to the IMAX at Waterloo on the 14th.
Cool. Nice.
Biggest screen in the country to really get an idea of what this film looks like in its best format, because the visuals in this film are just beyond impressive. From that first scene to the snow to there's some fantastic scenes, I'll say, in a river, without spoiling anything, because it is technically a river, which just blew my mind to watch.
So good,
the
right?
Fact, so good.
Yeah.
And many different settings and locations. And the fact that the Daily Planet in this film is a character within itself. It's the characters and the visuals and the locations. And Cleveland, we saw a lot of Cleveland, which is fantastic.
Yes, that's right, which was great.
It's just, I can't wait to watch this certain scenes time and time again. But for you, without spoiling it too much, was there a scene or a moment that really just rocked your world, Kibbs?
Oh my God. You guys seen it in the trailer already. The kaiju scene I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the visuals of it again. And then the color, the suit just looks, oh my God. Like, I know everybody had a bit of a worry about it, but trust me, it looks so good on the big screen. The blue and the reds and the yellows pop. The cape looks amazing. The flying scenes are great. Like, but the kaiju scene did really get me, because at first I was like, oh, he's really gone out there and really gave it this wacky feeling, which huge. I absolutely love, because when you saw how this kaiju started to what it became, it's insane. It's like really, really cool, and like the visuals are stunning. The action scenes are great. Like, that's one scene, and then there was another scene that really got me, which again you guys have seen in the trailers, but I love Smallville. I love Smallville. Yeah, there's some scenes in there that, like, you know, you could capture a moment and it will bring back memories of something that, you know, friends, family as well, and like it was like touching scenes. Man.
The quiet moments in this movie are ones that just give you, first of all, a bit of a breather from the excitement and the visuals, but the moment when we see Ma and Pa Kent, it's just like, oh, okay, this feels like a hug. This feels like I'm coming home. It's that moment of, like, you know, when you it's like going back 10, 15 years after you've grown up and going back to your grandparents' house and seeing that spare room and knowing that this is not only just a place of love, it is a place of safety and comfort and without judgment. And I could have had hours of screen time with Ma and Pa Kent, but what we got is absolutely perfect. And I could, we were both had our handkerchiefs at that moment when it was Pa Kent and Clark or Cal talking with each other. And I was like, if a scene was going to get us, this was going to be the scene, and it did well. But again, there were a few scenes throughout the movie where we were crying with joy, crying with sadness, or relating to a moment. It's a film that really does have it all. It was hard for me in my previous review to wrap up what this film meant to me. I'm going to get better over the upcoming screenings, but for me, what this film felt like was snippets from comics, snippets from the TV shows, snippets from all the different various animations and movies, just wrapped up in a love letter to the comic creators over the century. And Kibbs were having a lot of fun noticing all the Easter eggs in this film. Pay close attention, people. There are street names, there's shops, there's restaurants. There's something there that is just adding to the magic of this movie. I'm hoping, I know we've already seen one art book for this film that will be released. I want just a whole special features on the DVD and Blu-ray for all the Easter eggs that are in this film, because we know there are some cameos in this film. One really took us by surprise, which was fantastic, and one towards the end that I think we all know about. If you go to the IMDb page, it's there, but that just gave me more excitement for the future. Again, we'll probably talk more about this in future episodes, but the Easter eggs were just beautifully done, Kibbs, weren't they?
No, they're so good, so good. I feel like James has always been good at that. And as he said in his interviews, and he was like, this is just an Easter egg in itself. The movie is an Easter egg for itself.
Yes.
It opens up a brand new, the DC Studios, it's their beginning. It's, you know, why wouldn't it be full? We're jumping into a story. We're not. He did something really smart there, and he kept on repeating that I'm jumping into a story. We have never read a story from the beginning. And I think that's so important to any type of fan of literature, movies, TVs, you know, that we sometimes jump into the story and then say, oh, you know what? let's go back a little bit, and we'll always
Yes.
do that. I think as human beings, we'll jump into something, but then we'll always go back to it. And I feel like what he did was that we've seen the origin story, we know much. They will give us little bits of it as a little reminder, but to be honest, like they've thrown us into a story completely where we've
Completely.
not had to know. You don't have to know much about it.
No. And we weren't spoon-fed these new characters or these new fictitious countries that are
That's
featured
right.
in it.
Yes.
But through the art of storytelling and news clippets and a fantastic intro, similar to the world of Star Wars that I really liked.
Yes.
That was so beautifully done. It's the fact that we're not being, we're not babies. But
Yes.
of course, we know the mythology of Superman. To a new audience, they're going to get it. They're going to know where this guy came from.
That's
We're going
right.
to know who he is. And that element of the story was so much fun for me to be just told a new story whilst also knowing where the characters could go in the future, which was a beautifully done moment. I'm thinking, like, please just announce a sequel like straight away. I'm ready for that. As soon as I see Nicholas Hoult without that beautiful blonde hair, I know he's got a shaved head. I know he's back because, spoiler alert, you can't kill off Lex Luthor, but Lex Luthor will always be around much as Superman is.
Exactly.
I know that people sort of do recommend and ask you for sort of story and comic suggestions because you've got such great wisdom when it comes to all comics. But it's the same thing that I say if you pick up any Superman comic, it's a good story. I mean, you can always start with this bad boy right there.
Of course.
This came from a different world of storytelling.
Yeah,
It doesn't necessarily. It's got a few pages of an origin story in the front. Now, don't get panicked. This isn't an actual first edition. This is a reprint.
Oh, you put your fingers on it.
Oh no, it's had air on it. You need to put that in a dehumidifier now.
Exactly.
Page 1 of Action Comics.
Yeah.
That's
There you
it.
go.
That is the origin story of Superman. And then you've got this whole story about Superman. There are sub-stories in this comic as well, but it's a story about Superman. And it doesn't need a huge introduction because we know about the character.
Exactly.
Don't get me wrong, I would watch a 5-hour origin story about the world of Krypton,
Who
but
wouldn't?
that's me being greedy. But with this film, as you said, that intro was just enough, and it was good for it as well. And it's a fantastic time to be a Superman fan, as always. Now, Kibbs, I've grabbed enough of your time today. I knew we were going to have a fantastic chat. We're here now. Spoiler alert. We're going to talk a little bit about spoilers for like 5 minutes. So if you're not seen it yet, you can't blame us for that.
No, you can't. Go away. Go.
Final warning, spoilers. Right, I don't know where to start now. But it had it all for me. But seeing Supergirl in this, the fact that, bad language alert now as well, she calls her cousin Superman a bitch, was like straight out of the comics. Now, if you've read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, well done. If you haven't, go and read it right now before the film comes out. There have been some changes to the story because we know that Lobo is now in it, played by Jason Momoa. Jason is not in this film before anybody says. Again, that's a spoiler, but don't worry about that.
Yeah.
There's 2 post-credit scenes, which were great. Not really inclusive to the story, just a beautiful scene of Superman and Krypto, and then Superman and Mr. Terrific. But in this magnificent story that is by the side of me with my pile of comics, Krypto doesn't do too well in this. I'm hoping that's something that they change in the film. But we saw Supergirl.
Yes.
We saw Peacemaker, which absolutely rocked my world. We got a mention. See, what I like about this video, that if you pay close attention, there's Easter eggs in this podcast, Kips. Because just behind me up there, we've got Peacemaker. Next to Peacemaker, there's Supergirl. Behind me, we've got Mr. Mixer-Spitlick. They're all there. I get you, James. I know how you work. I know how you work, sir. But there's Easter eggs in this film. There's spoilers. It's just a beautiful, beautiful time. But what surprises did you get out of this towards the end of the film, Kibbs?
You know what? That last conversation with Lex really kind of showed the type of person, which I don't think any other movie has done, or even TV shows have really done, is the conversation levels between. Well, we got it in Smallville, but this one came from the heart. You know, I felt David in that moment being Superman. He embodied that moment because of the dialogue that James gave him, and he embodied that moment to say what he's doing and that I'm not perfect either.
Yeah, why he is Superman. Again,
Exactly.
comes back to choices, but why he makes the choices he makes and why he has to make those choices. It's not
Exactly.
just I'm here to do good things. It's everything has a purpose, and Superman has a purpose. That scene when I could hear you and I just sort of taking deep long breaths and bawling as he was there in that moment. It's how, and again, talking of like spoiler alerts, because we are talking about that part now. Lex Luthor is a clever man, and he has studied Superman for as long as he can.
Yeah.
He knows Superman's fighting technique.
Yes.
And pretty much by using other characters to fight for Lex,
Yes.
Lex is making, again, those choices to fight and battle Superman. There's elements of like a Mortal Kombat, like button smashing scene where he's
So
telling
good.
other people
I love
to do the work. Like, B12, C16, D7, and how in that moment Lex is like, it's all about strength over brain and brawn over brain.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful, exciting moment that I can't wait to just get agitated and get excited to see again.
Same here.
It's, that whole speech from Superman, anytime there's a Superman speech, whether it's the, like I dream of a better tomorrow, or strength, or the choices you make, or you're stronger than you believe. There's millions of quotes out there. This film will be quoted for what Superman says in that moment.
I've already got my ideas ready to clip that, because it's like, for me, like it really, really, as a person, we all want to do some, like,
yes,
we just want to do good. Like, we want to try our best. Like, we want to represent each other in the best way possible as the human race, And here's a guy who is a immigrant from another planet, another world. He's an alien, and all he wants to do is good. Yeah,
and
with the power to do
and
good.
Again, with other stories over the years, and including in this film, his parents chose Earth because we are a weaker race. We could be easily led. We could be easily manipulated. And Superman could easily have become just an absolute megalomaniac, an absolute awful human being. And he didn't. He changed and became somebody else, not only because of his choices, but the choices of Ma and Pa Kent.
Oh, man.
And the impact that good people can have on your life.
Exactly.
And that's why I wanted to see more of them in this film. We got enough, but my goodness.
we did.
We could have got a lot more, but and again, Superman speeches, even in Superman Quest for Peace, we can find the good in the bad, and there's a fantastic moment when Christopher Reeve talks about nuclear war and war in general, and it's a beautiful moment. We've had some of that in Man of Steel and Superman Returns, but in this film, that speech by David, written by James, is just powerful. As a Superman fan and as a lover of films and being a human, it's inspiration. And that, so good. As a stepping stone into the future, our hero is in incredibly safe hands, for sure.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. In James we trust. That's my quote.
Yes, that's it.
In James we trust. I
t-shirt
wanted to get that made before we... But it's just like timing, and this happened so quick, and you know how last minute it is. But again, I still pinch myself. I still honestly pinch myself. Like,
I've been going through my photos and my albums and videos, and just looking back over the last week or so. Just as you said, pinching myself and smiling and being so thankful for the opportunities we have had because of Superman, essentially.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's any time, as we said, somebody asked me to do something for Superman, whether it be recommend a story or come on my podcast and have a chat about Superman, or come and jump off a building for Superman, I'm going to do it because it's my favourite thing to do.
Yeah.
And Superman continues to inspire. And we've already seen some of the negativity online when it comes to this film, but the comments that I choose to interact with are the ones that want to talk about Superman for positive reasons.
You know what? Funny that you said that. So, with my bite-sized sort of fun facts about Superman, I've been getting a lot of hate for, but I have had some positive reactions as well. And like somebody who messaged this morning said, finally realizing Superman isn't boring, but an amazing hero. Am I in heaven? That was on one of my videos.
And that's what you need.
So I said, I never thought he was boring. He's the original OG that started this all. He's a character
Yes.
that's inspired so much over the years, TV, movie, comics, animation.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's continued to still message. He said that I get it. And I was like, it's about being the best you can be in the hardest times and keep showing up. And he goes, that's why I say when I ask about Superman that he doesn't give up, and neither should we. So an amazing interaction I've been getting with amazing fans. But you already know, dude, like,
Yeah.
negativity, positivity, they're going to be, total opposites.
They come along with it. But what
And-
James Gunn did do with this film, I mean, there's a certain scene with some primates in a building with lots of computer screens. Pay close attention to that and take
Yes.
away what you will. I don't often swear on the podcast, but the fact that they use the hashtag super shit and they use that in the film, that's how some negative people online have been talking about Superman in the film, was rather cleverly done by Mr. Gunn, and yes, bravo to him for that. But there's always going to be negativity around Superman, and that's why I see it. I get messages. I talk about it. I'm happy to talk about the negativities of this film when I see them. Right now, I'm still too in love with what I've seen already. But
I think constructive feedback is important.
that's a difference, isn't it? That's
No,
a big
I think
difference.
what people like, I can give you constructive feedback about artwork or a movie or a comic book, but that doesn't give me the right to shit on somebody's work without swearing on the podcast.
That's all right.
But, like,
we can
it
have
doesn't give you
3 swears per episode. That's it.
I'm not one to judge somebody else's work when I know how much blood, sweat, and tears go into this, and we know more about what they have to go through in the movies to even get a project green lit. Like,
Yes, we've
we
had
have-
the great fortune of speaking people from the world of films and comics over the years, how an idea can sometimes be sadly thrown away because
Exactly.
it doesn't get the go ahead. So what we need to do, and what artists are doing, is still fighting their corner, fighting for their story to be told, fighting for their art to be recognized. And that's why I'm always happy to go and give a film or a comic or a book a chance, because that's somebody's story. That's somebody's dream. That's somebody's goal, to get their story enjoyed by someone else. And I would much rather spend my time talking with people that appreciate the art, rather than going around and finding people that just want to talk negatively about something. I haven't got enough time for that. I'm far too
I don't have
busy
the energy
and
for that,
often
dude. I don't
far
have the
too
energy
lazy
for-
to do anything else but talk about things that make me smile and give
Exactly.
me joy. So there's going to be a lot of that online soon, and I there is the power of that ignore button or that mute button.
Well, yeah,
Just not to get
delete,
involved
ghost and
with it.
post, ghost and post.
That's
I mean,
it.
post and ghost, and I delete stuff now. I used to engage in it because it rallied me up, and I think I was wanting to protect somebody's work, but not knowing how much it could actually affect you, because all you're doing is responding to negative with negativity. So it's like,
That's it.
how can I be positive with this? So you know what? Delete. There you go, gone.
Don't blame.
You can
That's
come
a-
back to the post and say, "Oh, he deleted it." I don't care. Like,
Yeah,
I
we're
haven't
here-
got the
we're here
energy
to have
or time
fun.
for it.
We are
Yeah,
here
we're-
to embrace
exactly.
this hero and continue his story, much like James Gunn has done. Which is
Exactly,
what this film
exactly.
will do, and I can't wait to speak with more like-minded people around the world about it, because they're coming. And what I am
100%.
so happy about is the fact that this particular version of Superman is going to be a kid's first Superman.
Yes.
It's going to be a kid's first introduction to this world of superheroes. There's going to be someone saying, "Oh, Mum, there's Superman. Can I get that Superman toy or that Superman T-shirt?" For me, that's good, because that means that in 15 years' time, we get to do this all again. Somebody
my
else
God,
might
can you
be
imagine
playing
us?
Superman.
60
I'm
years
going to
old.
be doing this till I'm like 90. I'm going to be there, hopefully clinging on to these memories for dear life and
Yeah,
embracing the world
definitely.
of Superman. But yeah, it's been a fantastic couple of weeks. It's going to be an interesting few more weeks to see how well this film does in cinemas. Ticket sales are already
You know
looking
what?
rather
Like,
promising.
It's very good, but you know what? As long as, and for us, is because it's us. It's for us. To be honest, now, like, I think I've come to a point now where, for me, it's $1 billion franchise. For me, it's $1 billion franchise. It doesn't matter what ticket sales and what happens to it later on. That's a movie that I will cherish for a lifetime. I will have it on Blu-ray and all the rest of it, physical medias. I've already got my pre-orders put in. Like,
Yes, boy.
I think it's a great success already. And like,
Yeah.
if James, if you are watching, I think you've done something beautiful there. Like,
Yes.
not just made an old fan happy, you're going to make the future happy, because now my kids want to watch it now.
That's it. At the 30-minute preview, there was a kid in the front row that got his Superman goodie bag, and they were doing this thing where they were throwing a big beach ball around. And if you caught the beach ball and the music stopped, you got some prizes. There were a few other guests around us that were catching the ball and getting these prizes, and all they were doing was just giving the kid their stuff. It was like, here you go, buddy, have some more Superman stuff. He's going, this is all for me. This is amazing. This is the best day ever. So now he's got a fantastic memory of Superman. Exactly. And now when he sees this version of Superman, he's going to get it. And when he grows up with the character, he's going to read more stories and understand more why this character matters. That's what James Gunn has done. That is what I will always be thankful for. And that is why this film and why Superman still means so much to me. It's soapbox territory. I'm going to start ranting and raving in a minute. I won't do that because I've got about 3 more podcasts to record today and I don't want to lose my voice. But Kibbs, it's a beautiful time as always when I get to speak with you. Definitely. Please, where can people find you online again?
So guys, if you type in the Brothers Geekout Podcast in the Google search bar, you will find us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all streaming platforms. Yeah, You'll find us there. And then if you did want to follow my dad and art journey, then you will find me at Kibla Ahmed Art on Instagram.
Superb. All those links will be down below. Kids, thank you for, as always, being my OG Jimmy Olsen, for being by my side for these moments, for enjoying this journey that we are both on, and I can't wait for future adventures for many years to come. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for what you do. Keep doing it. Keep Superman in everyone's thoughts, and we'll speak soon, buddy.
All right, but take care of yourself, man. Thanks again for having me on.
My pleasure.